It's Erik Nagel at San Diego Comic-Con.
It's San Diego Comic-Con 2015 at the San Diego Convention Center, of course, in San Diego, California. My name is Erik Nagel. The show is It's Erik Nagel. Make sure you're following us on Twitter and Facebook at It's Erik Nagel. We've been putting up a lot of photos of events and stuff that's been going on throughout the con. Adult Swim has some factions here. FX has an arena for all their brand new stuff. What else did we cover here? So much stuff. All the attractions on the floor. Batman vs. Superman. Walking Dead, of course. Fargo. There's a human snow globe for Fargo where you can go in and it's snowing. There's a dead body, a dilapidated house, and you can take your photos in there. It's kind of cool. Whole bunch of stuff. Go to Twitter and Facebook at It's Erik Nagel and follow along. Moving on with our Comic-Con coverage, we're going to go to the House of Blues, which is several blocks away from the actual convention floor, and we're going to go there to talk to the cast and crew of Orphan Black on BBC America here in the United States and BBC outlets throughout the world. Orphan Black, if you're not familiar with it, it's about a girl who discovers that she has what she thought was a sister, like a twin sister that she didn't know about, and turns out she's a clone. She has many clones. And as seasons have gone on, there's male clones, there's a whole conspiracy of people trying to create these people to use as weapons, and there's just a lot to get into. You need to watch it. A lot of it is on demand and on Netflix. Season 3 is currently on demand. The DVD comes out in August, and Season 4 for Orphan Black comes out in 2016. So let's go to the House of Blues and talk to everybody from the cast of Orphan Black. San Diego Comic-Con, and we're here for the press line for one of the probably the biggest shows to come out of BBC America, Orphan Black. I'm here with the creators, John Fawcett and Graham Mason. Hi guys, how are you?
How are you? We're great, Erik.
Hey.
Before we get into Orphan Black, I just want to say, huge Cube fan.
Cube. Okay, cool.
It was one of those movies that was, I think it was on late on the movie channel when I was younger, and I'm like, what is this? And I got fascinated by it, and then there's sequels to it and everything like that, but I was so obsessed with this movie, and until it finally came out in a way you could purchase it, I used to tell all my friends, and nobody either believed me or knew what the hell I was talking about.
That's great. I'm glad you managed to find it on like late night TV.
Is it amazing that people still, to this day, have such a cult feeling for that movie?
Yeah, certainly, like, it spawned a couple sequels, and the people still love it. And we're still buddies with Vincenzo Natali, who directed an episode of Orphan Black for us this year.
I think in fact that's how you and I wound up meeting, because I knew Vincenzo because he'd been doing storyboards for me, and then I think it was kind of through Vincenzo that we ended
through
up
Vincenzo and Karen Walton, another writer on Orphan Black.
Last question about it. Any more in the future, maybe?
Cubes?
For the cubes?
I don't think so, no.
Aren't they making a new cube now?
I heard someone was remaking it, but we're like out of the loop. Yeah.
That sucks.
And it was nice because Vincenzo actually directed an episode for us in season 3, so
it all just comes full circle.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, he directed episode 9, so...
Well, let's get into why we're all here for Orphan Black. Third season has just come and gone here. Amazing. So just when you think you couldn't top what you were doing in the previous season, or even in the beginning of the current season, you go, oh my God, it's almost like they're purposely trying to mess it up, but then way down the line, it circles back and you're like, okay, now I see how everything ties in.
Yeah, we like to circle back on ourselves, and like, nobody's ever going to accuse Orphan Black of not going for it, that's for sure.
At least all right, a spoiler, with the exception of one person this season, at least you're not doing the Game of Thrones route where you're killing off main characters as each season goes by.
That would be hard on everybody. I don't think, if it ever comes down to it, like, John and I will be like, we have to like do something drastic and kill a main character. Then I'm like, well, let's kill Allison. And he gets all angry and he's like, no, we're going to kill Cosima. And we threaten to kill each other's favorite clones, and then we just drop it.
You can't kill Allison. You just made all these shirts.
No, she's dead. She's going. She's gone.
Yeah, that it's Cosima. Cosima's going to die. Let's kill them both.
Okay, well, yeah, just wipe them both out. Yeah.
Also, while season 3 was going on, the great news for the fans that season 4 got announced.
Awesome. Yeah, we are doing season 4. We're already in the writers' room. We've been with the writers for about 6 weeks.
Yeah, Graham and I got the news back in April.
It's about in April, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And then we started working on. We'd already started on season 4. Kind of between us.
Well, announcing that and getting that news during the current season is very un-BBC, because they like to wait till the season's done, drag things out as long as they can, and then go, yes, there's going to be another season, and everybody gets all nuts and crazy.
Great vote of confidence. I think we got the word at episode 4 this year. That's fantastic. That's what you want as a creator to kind of lets the pressure off, opens your mind up for the next season, and we just got working right away.
Now, as being the creators of this show, you obviously want your project to succeed, and you want to go as far as you can with it. But like, say in the case of Lost, where you found out later on that they went too long as far as their seasons went, and they realized that they didn't know how to wrap everything up and where to go with it, and they admitted that we only had an image for maybe the first handful of seasons there. Where did you see Orphan Black going? If you had the opportunity, which you do have now, you're going into season 4, how long did you see Orphan Black going, and how far?
Well, we always had an endpoint, and we kind of made sure that endpoint was a bit elastic, right, John?
I think so. I mean, you just don't know. You don't know how long your show's going to go. We knew what we wanted to do with the end of our show. We knew we had large tentpole ideas about how the seasons would look to get there, or the events that needed to occur to get to that endpoint.
So you guys have already in your head where this season, the series is going to end?
Yeah.
No, that's great to know. That's very confident.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We know we're excited. It's like, we want the show to go as long as it can, but we're excited about how our end game. Put it that way.
And for the record, I loved Lost, and I didn't care if people were confused, and I thought everybody was complaining over nothing, and I was like, so you don't really know what's going on? Who cares? It's great. Yeah. I don't mind a mystery. I don't mind being a little bit lost while I'm watching things, and Lost I totally loved, and so did Dylan Bruce. It's his favorite show ever.
But I do think though that with us, what we try to do that's a little bit different than Lost is we try to give more answers. Generally, than I think Lost was kind of just asking more questions than it was ever giving answers.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
And I think that watching our show, I think that it's more satisfying because you're figuring things out a little quicker, and but when you figure some part of it out, you get another question.
Get another question. Yeah.
Well, Vince Gilligan said, as Breaking Bad was starting to explode, that he had the ending in his head already. Does that make it easier for you, even though you want to go as long as possible, but does that make it easier for writing because you know where the end game is, so you're not going all over the place like, no, that doesn't make sense to bring it back to this point here. I know where the ending is. We can just plow all the way through.
Yeah, I think it does help you shape it, of course, where you're going. You still have to break it down season by season, and you still have the myriad of story challenges you have on any television show.
Yeah, it's a complicated show to create and write and keep all the puzzle pieces together and schedule and shoot, because it's it's one girl playing a whole bunch of parts. It's insane.
Really, really bad idea for a TV show.
Last question with you guys. As Orphan Black has grown, merchandising has gotten bigger, and more things are coming out, more unique stuff. There's Funko Pop figures, which are you see everywhere. People have those. Now there's T-shirts and all these other things. Like, how do you feel as far as merchandising your project here? Because some people don't like it when it's too over merchandised. Some people like, I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, so far, it's just a really cool opportunity for us to see the show kind of expand, and we got to do a comic book series, which is like one of John's dreams.
Comic book series and a board game.
Yeah.
Come on. That's pretty good. And Funko figures, and some clothes. We had a great clothing line with through Hot Topic, and they love the show. And so far, it's just been really exciting. I don't feel like it's. We're just we're a smaller show right at the moment, and any kind of amount of promotion that we can get to involve the fans and keep everyone kind of on the Orphan Black bandwagon, we love right now. I think it's great.
Good. Orphan Black Season 3 is done. It's on demand. When is the DVD coming out for that? Any idea?
I don't know.
August? It's coming out in August.
All right, there you go.
Good.
And then Season 4, 2016. Can't wait for that. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Cool. Thanks, Erik.
Thanks, tons. Thank you.
Continuing on here at San Diego Comic-Con with the Orphan Black press junket. This is an amazing opportunity. We're going to talk to Mark, Rudy, Seth, Miller, and Parsons all at the same time as we say hi to Ari Millen. How are you?
Not bad. How about you?
So you're the male clone for every male clone on the show.
Excluding Tony.
Yeah. So when you got this part, what were you thinking you were going to be involved with?
When I got cast as Mark first, and it was the second season, so I'd already watched the first, and I was already a really big fan, so all I was thinking, I was like, holy crap, I'm on a show that I'm really excited about and that I'm a fan of, and I can't wait to meet Helena, because she was my favorite clone and scared the crap out of me.
By the way, if you haven't seen all the fans outside, most of them are dressed to her.
Really? Great. Can't wait.
Terrifying.
Very. And that was my first experience. She was coming down the stairs. Tat was coming down the stairs, but in costume as Helena. And it was, because still get chills. Right. I didn't know. I knew I was going to die in episode 6. So I was just enjoying the ride as it went, and this is going to be great. And then I wasn't dead, and then I got a phone call from Graham very late in the season saying, this is what we want to do with you. How do you feel about that? So it's been a whirlwind ever since.
Did it once go through your head where you see the amount of work Tatiana goes through and you go, oh, I'm playing like 8 different guys?
It's probably because of that, because of the understanding of the amount of work and dedication and concentration that it takes. It's been the most exhilarating experience of my acting career, probably, that I'll ever have. Just because it's so important to want to do your best, to do a great job and do what these two gentlemen here they tell their story properly. But certainly working with the cast and crew that we have, probably the best combination of everyone together. Everyone comes together, they love what they're doing, and it never feels like work. So, and getting to work opposite Tat so often, it certainly made it a lot easier.
Well, Season 3 has come and gone. There's really no spoilers, especially if you're at Comic-Con. Everyone's been talking about who's dead, who's still alive, what's going to happen, and the news in the middle of the season, which is not very BBC-like, to announce that Season 4 is happening while the current season's going on.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a really good feeling. It's a really good feeling. But, I know nothing. If you find out anything, let me know.
You're part of it.
I know that. I do know that Mark will be returning, and but you never know. It's a clone show,
For those who don't know or aren't too familiar with Orphan Black, the original premise was that there was this girl who found out that she thought she maybe had sisters, and they turned out to be clones, and there's this whole conspiracy, and it was growing larger and larger. Now they threw in another part of it where there's a male clone division, Project Castor, right? Can you explain a little bit about that, and what is the default? What is the defect in the male clones that they're trying to weaponize?
Oh, well, there's the male clones have a defect, but they also have a genetic weapon that they've just discovered. So the genetic defect is that they're something with when they got cloned, their brain started degenerating, and it's so throughout Season 3 they've been trying to, through Lita, find a cure, but their sort of genetic weapon that they've been programmed to have is that they sterilize women when they sleep with them. So it's deep stuff.
It's almost like reverse species.
Exactly. I mean, and I think that will certainly be touched on in season 4, and I think certainly with Neolution we'll start to find out that they're really bad, and they've got really bad designs on what they want to do. So I would imagine that weapon is all wrapped up in Neolution conspiracy.
Now, with the success of Orphan Black and the fact that it's growing worldwide, there are men and women who watch the show, but it's the females who seem to be more vocal, at least at conventions and online, about their fandom for this show. What have been your experiences involving the Clone Club?
Probably the most supportive and incredible group of individuals a show could ever hope for. From the fan art to just the positive reinforcement of we love you, can't wait for this, can't wait for that. Great show last week. It makes you feel good. Make it warm and fuzzy, really warm and fuzzy.
Do you ever get your share of some of those who can't really separate the line between liking the show, where they're yelling at you like, I hate you, you're trying to kill them, you're such a dick?
I got a lot of, I love to hate Rudy. I really didn't want to like you, but you won me over.
Thanks, Mom.
Exactly. Yeah. Thanks, Mom. For the most part, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's some bad stuff out there, but you don't go looking for it.
Do you get to renegotiate now that there's a season 4?
They actually preempted for season 2. They I was a day player before, and then they optioned me going into season 3. So.
I was going to say, if you have a chance to have any kind of pull in season 4, you got to get your own action figure.
That would be pretty cool.
You know, Funko's got the line going. You just got to make a phone call.
Speaking of Clone Club, there's a woman out there who takes the Funkos and then creates. So I've seen a Parsons. I've seen, she's made the brain and everything. It's like she, customizes them. So it's like, Clone Club's awesome.
Well, get your own official one.
Okay.
Make your mom proud.
Can we do that? Getting the thumbs up.
All right, thank you so much. The DVD comes out in August, and then season 4 in 2016. I look forward to it.
Thanks, man.
Hanging out at the House of Blues in San Diego for the San Diego Comic-Con, just listening to some Backstreet Boys as we hang out with Jordan Gavaris, you know him as Felix, from Orphan Black. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm so happy to meet you. You're one of my favorite characters on the show, and you're probably the only guy that is unanimously not hated by anybody in the Clone Club.
Which is so funny because I think the reception to him initially was a little bit like, "Whoa, my God, this guy is so weird." But then about 3 or 4 episodes in, everybody couldn't. He's just too funny and sweet. How can you not love him?
I initially thought in the early episodes with the character, I thought that he was like a leech, like a hanger-on kind of thing. But it really is like he has his own world, and he's not looking for anybody or a handout or anything.
No, if anything, everybody's hanging on to him.
Right. That's what I was going to say. He wants everyone to leave him alone.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe you need to move.
Maybe I need to get a lock on my door. Maybe I need to stop locking it with a screwdriver.
Right. Well, everybody knows you're there, so you need to find a different loft and just not tell them.
It's true. I feel like we could probably use an upgrade. Maybe he can consolidate, sell some of his furniture, and put it toward a really nice, much smaller loft somewhere with a locking door, and nobody knows his address.
How long did you have to practice for the cadence, for the dialogue, to do Felix?
It was about 3 weeks of prep, and it wasn't every day. I would just listen. I listened to a lot of videos online. I drew inspiration from Lily Allen. She has a South Londoner's syntax. And just her sense of humor, too, is a bit cheeky, and Felix is cheeky. So it's not just about adopting the accent, but it's also about adopting the culture. And the Brits have a very interesting sense of humor. It's very different than Americans. And if you were to write a cultural British humor and speak it with an American accent, it probably wouldn't be very funny. Because it's so much about its delivery as well.
Well, he also can say more by stretching a vowel than actually getting his point across. He'll just sit there and go, Yeah. And then everyone's just looking at him like, all right, he's pissed at us.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta admit, I was a little surprised when you walked in here. The luster of the show and what have you, you're thinking that, all right, he's going to look like his character, and you look nothing like your character. Well, you're you, but you don't look as exactly like Felix. Does that throw off a lot of the fans when they actually get a chance to meet you?
I think sometimes it does. I get a bit of a confused reaction from people, but it's great for me because I live in LA and I live in total anonymity. I've maybe been picked out of a crowd twice, and it's a little different at Comic-Con because people are here for the show and they're looking for us, so they're a little more apt to point us out or stop us on the street. But that doesn't happen to me in real life. Outside of the con, that doesn't happen to me very often.
Well, that's not really a curse. You could walk through. I mean, especially with the shirt you're wearing, you look like one of the sons from Home Improvement. So they're like, oh, that's just him.
I have been mistaken for Jonathan Taylor Thomas many times.
Season 3 just wrapped up. Season 4 was announced in the middle of this season. I've been talking to everybody about this. Very on BBC like to do that. They like to end a show, let it stretch out, and you don't know if it's coming back. You don't know if everybody's coming back on the show. And they said, nope, right in the middle. It's coming back 2016. DVD's out in August. What were your reactions I think they said by episode 4 you guys found out?
Oh, I thought it was great. I had a feeling we were going to be renewed because the show is, in the first couple of seasons, it's always touch or go, but by the third season, when you start to, the whole ratings system, Nielsen, is dead. I don't know if anybody's noticed that. They're just not willing to admit it yet. Nobody watches television live anymore, and our DVR numbers are through the roof.
Well, I do DVR Season 3, and look, it's already ruined for me because I'm here at Comic-Con, and I'm only a few episodes shy of finishing Season 3. So now I'm just going to go home like, all right, I kind of got the gist of everything. But people still do DVR it because they want the current stuff.
Exactly. They do DVR, and they watch within the 3-day period, which does help the network. So I think, again, by Season 3, we kind of figure, it's going, and the train's still moving. Clone Club is still growing. So I think that I was really excited to know that I still had a job and that I got another crack at, more than that though, that I got another crack at developing this character and deepening him in a way that I haven't yet figured out, in exploring another side of him that I haven't yet explored. And I think that I'm very glad that they announced it, mid-season instead of giving us all panic attacks in July.
Well, I'm running out of time with you, but I've been asking everybody this. Merchandising for the show has actually grown. Where's the Felix figure?
Felix figure should be released like now. I know there's a Funko one, and I know he's nude. He's just in a painter's apron, and his little bum is exposed. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Do you have one yet?
I don't. I plan on giving one to... I don't know. I can't. I don't own any merchandise of myself.
Especially that figure, you need to get as many of them as you can and give it to your entire family and friends for Christmas.
I'll stuff it in a stocking. It's small enough.
Make your mom so proud.
That or deeply ashamed. Yeah.
Ashamed, but it's still going to be up on the mantle as she brags to all her friends.
That's very true.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Like we said, Season 4 in 2016, DVD in August. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Moving along at the Orphan Black event here at the House of Blues for San Diego Comic-Con 2015. I'm joined by, let me make sure I get your last name right. It's Christian Brune?
Brune. Like prune with a B.
All right. Yeah. And you're sweating just like I am.
Yeah, I'm catching my breath because I just got off stage from twerking with Allison cosplay lookalikes, the winner of the Allison cosplay contest. So as the prize, they got to twerk with me, and I twerked with all of them, and I'm now still just sweating and catching my breath.
The things they make you do for this show.
Oh my God, I will never live down that twerking scene.
Well,
it's so much fun, so it doesn't matter.
So they don't have 8 roles for you, so they said, you're going to twerk at all these events.
Yeah, exactly. I've done a lot of twerking this whole weekend. I feel like I've had a good workout every day.
Nobody gets an easy role on this show.
Nobody. No. They keep us on our toes. That's the way we like it.
For those who don't know, you play Donnie, Allison's husband, and it's amazing to see the evolution of Donnie going from what we thought was clueless to being kind of a douchebag and aggressive to falling back to being clueless again, and then now he's all on board with everything that's going on.
Yeah, he's part of the family again. their marriage between Allison and Donnie has been so rekindled, and now he's part of Clone Club. He's sort of welcomed a lot of the Sestras into the Hendricks family as well, especially Helena. And that's been such a fun journey to do, is just getting to work with other versions of Tatiana.
One of the best scenes is the expression on your face. I think it was in the rehab facility when you walk into the room and you see two of them, and you're not even shocked. You're just kind of like, I got to fucking deal with two of them.
Yeah, Donnie, to keep in mind, like, the last 3 seasons have only taken place in the storyline like over 3 to 6 months. So just the amount of change that has happened in Donnie's life in the last, few months is just astronomical. So he's been on a roller coaster ride. Everybody on the show has been. It's insane. Well,
I think more for your character, after being smacked in the face with a golf club, thrown down the stairs, and tortured with a hot glue gun, that'll change anybody.
Yeah, that really leaves a bunch of scars, both physical and mental.
I'll have to say it's a very enjoyable scene. Obviously, stunt doubles doing.
I took the golf club to the face. We had a stunt double to go get flung down the stairs, and then I took the hot glue, and I also got to shoot Dr. Leakey, which was fun. Yeah, they let me do some fun stunts every once in a while, which is great. The fight scene between myself and Jason Kellerman, played by Justin Chatwin, that was fun. That was a choreographed fight, and it was quick. He dropped me pretty fast, but I got a good slap in there at least.
The car scene, you've got to forgive me, the gentleman who played the doctor.
Matt Frewer.
Matt Frewer. I keep calling him Lawnmower Man.
yeah, exactly.
Or the guy from The Stand. But you're in the car, and he's sick of you. He's tired of you, of your whiny nonsense. He's like, we're going to do this with or without you. And he's just like, whatever, Donnie. And you're like, I got a gun. I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to do this. Doesn't believe you. And then he talks you out of it. And then
I put the gun down. I'm like, okay, you know what? This is not me. And
in a split second, it's like you don't. I guess that's normally what would happen with anybody in that situation. You don't realize what happened, even though you're looking at it. It hasn't hit you yet. A couple seconds later, you start going.
Yeah, it was fun because we only had one take to shoot that. It was like at the end of a Friday night of filming, and it was like already past midnight, and they had set it up to do it 3 times to like clean the car, get all the brain out of everything, the blood off everything. But it takes like a long time to clean a car of all that goop. And by the time we got to the scene, Ken Girardi, who was directing the episode, he was like, listen, bud, we only have time for one of these, so don't mess up.
It's like when they're imploding a building or blowing up a car.
Yeah, exactly. It was the same situation, and it was a little scary, that's for sure. And we had a guy hiding behind the passenger seat with a goop gun, ready to spray me in the face with blood and brain. And another gun spraying the car, a stunt guy taking the shot to the face, and me smacking the gun on the steering wheel. So like everything had to be timed between the 3 of us just right to hit that moment, and luckily it went off with a bang.
Did they pun?
Yeah, stupid pun.
Did you practice with when you were trying to get that scene down? Did you practice with like water or something?
No, nothing. I wanted to improv that. I didn't want to practice the reactions. I didn't want to practice the timing. It was more just like in the excitement of the moment. That's usually when you find the best stuff, and you don't want to kill it dead by just rehearsing the hell out of it. So I wanted to keep it as fresh as possible, and we just went for it. It was kind of risky. It's a bit of a gutsy move on it's like actually Saturday morning at like 1 in the morning by the time we get to do it, and luckily it worked out.
Do you think in season 4 we'll get to explore more of Donnie's porn collection?
I think he's just a fan of the whole Big Boob Blowies line, 1 through 74. Great series.
Talk about Dean being loyal and dedicated to a series.
Yeah. Much like Clone Club is to Orphan Black, Donnie is so dedicated to his porn collection. I think he's gotten rid of the porn collection. I think now that his marriage is back on track, he's pretty happy. He doesn't need porn.
With the Clone Club, obviously the reactions to everybody involved with this show, they're in love with everything. Have you ever gotten any kind of negative reaction from the Clone Club where some people can't separate the show from their life? Like, we hate you, you put her in rehab.
It was at the end of season 1, I got it a few times because at the end of season 1 I was revealed to be her monitor the whole time. And every once in a while I would meet someone on the street or in a store and they'd be like, I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from? and they'd stare at me, and all of a sudden they just go, "You bastard," which always kind of threw me for a loop. But now that Donnie's a good guy, I don't get that too much, so it's all right. Yeah.
What do you expect from Donnie in season 4? Do you have any ideas? Not as far as what they're writing, but where you want to go with it.
I would love to see Donnie spend more time with the other clones to really get to know the other Sestras. I definitely want to see more Donnie and Helena because that was just so much fun to play, and those two characters are just so ridiculous. I would love some time with Felix as well and just explore that relationship. We've only seen each other a couple times over the course of the 3 seasons, but you know, there's stuff that can be mined there, I think. So
I don't think Felix is your type.
No, but
or you're his type.
But that's what makes it the best is like get odd couples together. These odd pairings, like Donnie and Helena at first were just so like, what the hell's going on? And then they really bonded.
Anytime Felix has been in a scene and you were in the room, he always caught the glance that he gives you is like when a teenager has their friends around and they're looking at Dad and like, oh, Dad, you're just embarrassing. Leave me alone.
I am a total embarrassment to Felix. It's great. I love it.
All right, thank you, Christian, so much. Season 4 starts in 2016, which is great news. We found that out, and the DVD comes out in August.
Yeah, and we get back to work end of September, so we're all chomping at the bits to start filming, especially after seeing all the madness here in San Diego.
I want to see a Donnie figure in a tracksuit.
Yes, or just tidy blueies.
Or the variants that's like maybe the Con Collective, him in the car covered in blood.
That would be awesome. I would love that. That'd be great.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
It's Erik Nagel at San Diego Comic-Con.
Walking around on the Comic-Con floor here, you never know what worlds are going to collide and what you're going to see. And as I'm walking around here, I look up and there's a rather large gentleman dressed as the Predator, and I look, and it's Dwight Howard. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm happy to be here. This is an amazing time, you know, just to get away from everything and come and enjoy yourself.
I gotta say, I love the outfit choice that you made, but two, that you're cool enough to walk around and like, look, I love this stuff. I don't care who knows it. Because a lot of basketball players try to hold up a certain image, but you're showing that, this is kind of cool. This is what I'm into, and I'm going to walk the floor.
It is cool. I mean, this is an opportunity where we can get away from just being a basketball player and just be whoever we want to be. So, why not have fun? This is our life. For 9 months out the year, we're playing basketball and we're really intense. So, during the summertime, we got to enjoy our lives.
Right. You were in one booth here where you're looking at a bunch of collectibles, signed stuff, and what have you, and I saw you eyeing the hoverboard from Back to the Future, but it says sold out. Is there anything you can possibly do to make that yours?
He's making me one. He's making me one. Somebody had already bought it, so they enjoy movies just like I do, and that's why I'm here in this booth, just getting a lot of things that I enjoy watching. I'm a big Batman fan, love Marty McFly, and actually the shoes that are there, I got them for one of my teammates a couple years ago. So even though I can't wear them, it'd be good to have them in my movie room.
How mad would you be that you just said you bought that for one of your teammates and then you go out on the court one game and he's wearing those shoes? I
wouldn't be upset. I paid a lot of money for it, but at the same time, it was a gift for him because he really liked those shoes. So it'd be crazy to see it, though.
I would have been like, man, you know how much those cost? Those are a collectible, and you ruin them.
He wouldn't wear them. I talked to him the other day. He said he still got them in the box that I got them in. He hasn't touched them. He's wiped them off a little bit just to make sure it doesn't get dusty, but he hasn't done anything crazy with them.
What are you doing for the rest of Comic-Con here?
Rest of Comic-Con, I'm just going to enjoy myself, walk around, take pictures, act like the Predator.
Is it weird if you go to a booth and you see collectibles that are you?
It is weird. I think the weirdest thing that has happened was last Comic-Con. I was walking around as myself, and a kid asked me, why am I playing Dwight Howard? So that was kind of weird to see.
Shut up, kid.
I just laughed it off, but it was funny.
Dwight, I don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you so much, man. Enjoy Comic-Con.
Thank you so much.
Erik Nagel. Erock? Well, he'll be right back.